fairly long drug out outer zone where it tightens up a lot at the end, so you really have to commit and send everything in with as much angle as you can, and then you're kind of going to drag out to the backside of it to fill the entire zone.
Yeah, definitely something that is going to be difficult for some of these drivers to do. It seems as though if you have a tough time through outer zone 1, you can have a tough time in 2 and 3. It really compounds with a track like this that's got so much riding on that first clipping point there, that outer zone 1.
Absolutely. If you don't link the whole track together on the line that we are looking for, you're not going to be able to get to any of the corners. Outer zone 1 really brings you under the trailer and sets you up to get to zone 2, which then sets you up for 3 and everything else.
Yeah, outer zone 2 there. We've seen some people come up a little bit short, especially in the chase position. Are you guys docking the chase position for cutting the line to get up to them pretty heavily? I know this being a Pro-Am competition, obviously I've judged some A and some B stuff, and that gets a little bit overlooked. But in this competition, do you really want that lead driver and that follow driver to both be on the same line with similar angle? He's radioing back to the start line. We'll be right back with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've been watching the rest of the live stream, if you come up short on outer zone 2, you'll find that it really gets you offline and you don't have a chance to get the wheel speed to push you all the way out for outer zone 3.
Yeah, outer zone 3 definitely been a tricky one. Here's a guy who we have seen had a couple of issues, had a couple of confusing moments earlier in the day with a false start and with some issues there in the third outer zone. We are going to be sending some cars, though. We've got Stefan here in his orange Mustang versus a C6 Corvette, Dark Arts Performance, After Hours Autosport of James Ford in that blue C6. Two pretty new muscle cars going at it here. We've got Stefan in the Mustang. Oh, and a big bobble from James Ford in the chase position. Stefan now putting the gap on him a little bit as James might have gotten a little too overzealous. Stefan does a good job in outer zone 2, but not super deep as he sets up for outer zone 3. He's going to take out the cone here. Nobody can see anything. Both these cars super smoky here as they come back through. Touch and go on the fourth corner here during the horseshoe. We can see almost nothing, but I'm sure those judges are getting a great drone view right now. Through 5, back through the finish line, both of them smoking it out. Look at that Mustang go. He is just rolling it. We're going to need to take a look at the replay for outer zone 1 here. Make sure we can see exactly what happened with James Ford. We are going to bring him back to right now. Look at that big loss of angle from James Ford. Not necessarily, way off. 3 tires off behind him as well. That's going to be super detrimental. Definitely going to be something the judges are looking at. We want to see that one more time. And here we go. As we take a look at this one more time, you can see that James Ford gets super checked up on entry, puts a ton of angle into the car, peels a bunch of angle out of it, and then he tries to get back on the door of Stefan, who's deep into that zone. Unfortunately, overshoots it quite a bit. The judges are going to have to be taking a look because there could be some shared fault there on that issue. So we are going to be taking a look at this, but we are going to send the other half of this battle before the judges really get into this and deliberate some more. They are right up there at the start line getting ready to go. This is James Ford in his blue C6 After Hours Autosports Dark Arts Performance C6, leading Stefan in that orange Mustang S550 Supercharged or Procharged Coyote there. James Ford puts the gap on him. James Ford left him in the dust at the line, left him waiting. Stefan trying to make up some ground. James Ford doing a good job under the trailer as he comes through outer zone 2. He likes to go wide here. He goes deep but keeps it perfectly on the track. James Ford with an absolute monster line. Unfortunately, not deep enough in outer zone 3. Comes in through outer zone touch and go number 4 through the horseshoe. Does a good job of filling that as we come through turn 5 here at the very end. They're both slowing it down quite a bit, and it looks like Stefan may have an issue with the car or might just be out of tire from that big rolling burnout he did down the straight. He really lost some speed there. Now, the judges are going to have to deliberate at this point. One of the qualifications for the chase driver is having an active chase. That means being close enough to have your presence felt. That means being close enough to actually make an impact on the lead driver. And as you can see here, almost a full corner back already through outer zone 2. Through outer zone 3, James Ford didn't give him any distance, especially because he was not filling all of outside zone 3, but it looked like that Mustang slowed down substantially between the 2 laps. Could have been a lack of tire. We saw a ton of smoke pouring out of that car, and now we are going to see both of them return to the hot pits. Let's check in with the judges and see who got the win there. Ford got the win. You want to explain it for us? I think we have to wait until somebody else is there. We're going to go to the judges real quick to explain them exactly what happened between that Ford battle where James Ford did get the win, and see exactly what happened there with Stefan and James Ford.
So James Ford in the Corvette had a 0 on his lead lap on his entry. He was following first, and he straightened. The Mustang went 3 tires off in outer zone 1, so they both earn incompletes for the first run, so we default to the second run, and the Mustang just got left off the line. He did a sweet burnout and got gapped.
One of those things, tire preservation definitely playing a factor here, and unfortunate to go out like that. That was Will, one of our judges, giving us the recap, making sure we know exactly what's going on. Big shout out to Will for letting us know exactly what the decision was on that. And here we go. We have got Mr. Dunn, Red S14 versus the C5 Corvette of Trapper John out here. Trapper John, a crowd favorite. Dunn, I believe he's from out of state. He took a long time to get here, so hopefully he can put something together right now. I know they both had, a couple of little issues, but Trapper John really put the exclamation point on his run in the lead. Now we are going to the chase position for Trapper, lead position for Dunn as they take off from the line. Ripping into the entry point here. Dunn definitely has more power. You can see that when he lights off, almost picking up a tire in outside zone 1. Here we go, down through the trailer into outside zone 2. Little bit off that line there, but Trapper's definitely getting left. We've got Ryan Dunn. We've got him coming through outside zone 3 with decent proximity, but a little bit off of the zone. Trapper definitely feeling the deficit in car right now, and unfortunately is almost a corner back here by the finish line. Both of them go through pretty clean. We're going to have to go back to the replays of that first battle just to see exactly what happened and get the whole story in between that 5 minutes here. We are going to be looking at a couple of replays here as we have this current footage. Here we go. This is a replay from back when James Ford and Stefan were going. You can see that lead line from James Ford right where he needs to be on outer zone 1. But here we're going for the battle between Dunn and Trapper John. Here we go. This is another blue Corvette here. And I just overheard from the judges, we've got Trapper John for the win on that one. Trapper John is going to be advancing. Unfortunately, Mr. Dunn and that red S14 is going to be heading home a little earlier than he would want. Both of them putting on a great show. Definitely great battle between the two of them. Huge deficit in car, and Trapper John able to make it up with a super clean lead lap. We're going to be getting our next competitors up here soon as we start working our way closer and closer to the finals of Round 2 Pro-Am, hosted by Drift Colorado here at PPIR. Can I call this real quick? All righty, we are doing double elimination here, and we would like to update you guys on the current standings. We've got Tyler and Pollard over in the winner's bracket at the very top. We've got Cameron Sorensen and Stephen Calloway in the winner's bracket as well on the other side. Then in our loser's bracket here, we've got James Ford, who just got that win over Stefan, and we've got Levi Waite and Trapper John, two friends, surely frenemies right now in that loser's bracket. So 3 people left in the loser's bracket, couple more battles to to run in the winner's bracket as well, and we are getting dangerously close to the end of this series here. But we got an awesome lineup of these Pro-Am cars. All of these drivers rising to the top, rising to the occasion. Everyone from Justin Chestnut right there, as you can see on scene, handling business down there at the start line. Big shout out to Justin Chestnut. But anyways, we are getting ready to rock into some of the final 4 battles. We are really close to a top 4, definitely in the Great 8 by this point. Excited to see exactly what happens throughout the rest of the battles here. All right, I got this back for you.
We don't have any more loser, or we have one more loser battle.
Right now, we are waiting on some tires. Trapper John obviously has to get a fresh set on here before he can battle his new frenemy, Levi Waite. We are also getting ready for some of the winner's bracket battles as soon as they're ready with that.
That had to be fun. Is it because like their belt fed that they're jamming or?
The fully automatic grenade launcher.
Is that one just like the straight handle or the underbarrel?
Here we go, guys. We have got some battles coming up here. We've got Justin Chestnut, FD driver, at the start line here in his Can-Am. Maybe he is going to be making a glory run for us. We're going to see a couple of loser bracket battles coming up soon here and then get back to the main winner's bracket here with Pollard, Tyler, Sorensen, and Callaway.
Yeah, game over.
Doesn't the Marine manual say use upwards of 4 to 6 hand grenades to clear room and go? I'm sure it does.
We got Zambu down there at the start line. Hell yeah, posted up. Probably excited that the weather's calming down a little bit here. Catching a quick seat while we wait on Trapper John to switch some tires because obviously he was on the last battle. Oh, and there's me. Hey, how's it going, guys? If we can see it, if we're live here. If we're not, we're recording. Make sure you take a look at the live stream here. And if you're just joining us, because now we are live, we are in the top 8, I believe, of Formula Drift Pro-Am, hosted by Drift Colorado here. We are all excited to see who's going to be taking this thing home. If you didn't catch us in the first half, huge shakeups going on in the point series. We've got Levi Waite, the old leader of the point series. He is in the losers bracket right now, at risk, going up against his friend Trapper John. If you're also just joining us, we had Austin Bardo go out due to a mechanical failure, blew his intake manifold apart, and unfortunately could not continue. That was in the losers bracket, so he is out. He was second place at our last event. Cameron Sorensen, third place the last event. He is currently still in the winner's bracket and looking poised to be able to take home another podium, which could put him in the points race for the lead, depending on how Levi Waite finishes today. So we've got a bunch of exciting entertainment for you guys. This is the top of Colorado drifting. We've got Levi Waite headed to the line, getting ready to battle his buddy Trapper John. That's going to be happening in just 1 second here. And if you're just joining us, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We got Springs Tire and Auto. We've got Big Nick's Auto. We've got After Hour Auto Sport. We got Drift Colorado hosting the whole thing. 3 Series Auto Parts. Whole lot of autos, whole lot of fun, whole lot of drifting. We are back for Colorado Pro-Am. Formula Drift Pro-Am. at PPIR. It's a great place to be. Weather's finally calming down. Looks like we don't have too much rain coming in for the PM, which is going to be great. But other than that, we are getting ready to send some cars. Trapper John on the line. Levi Waite on the line as well. Got to make sure they're in the right position here, getting the tires warmed up in that C5 Corvette is Trapper John, and we are ready to send. Here we go. We've got Levi Waite leading Trapper John. Trapper John, knowing he's going to have to make up some distance, leaves a little bit early. Here we go. Levi Waite into the first corner. You can see the smoke pouring off of those front tires. He must be left foot braking pretty hard through that section as they come under the trailer into outside zone 2. Levi Waite putting the car, way wide from Levi Waite. You almost never see that out of the Drift Doctor. Normally so composed as he comes into outer zone 3. He does a great job in outer zone 3. Set himself up way wide, going 2 tires off in outer zone 2. You see him lock up the tires in front of Trapper John. Trapper John goes off. We are worried for our camera operators sitting there in the middle of the grass. Both of them pull through the finish line. That is going to be something that the judges are going to have to deliberate on. Is that brake stab from Levi Waite the cause of Trapper John going off before outside touch and go 4? Or is that going to be an issue for Trapper John because he should have mimicked the angle? Now this is definitely something that gets changed up here. I'm getting the pat from Danny. What do you want to say, Danny?
This is insane. Both of these guys making these separate mistakes. Man, I love watching these guys drive, and it's hard sometimes when you see these mistakes because you really don't want to see them from these guys.
Look at that. Did you see how Levi's front wheels locked up so hard right there? He lost steering. Looks like he lost steering input for a second while he stabbed that left foot brake to slow down for the next corner. Unfortunately, pushed himself way to the outside of the track. We're going to be looking for some drone footage of that for the judges as they are requesting. Unfortunately, not something that we have on tap here. They really want to make sure that they get the right call made for it. They're going to be watching a replay one more time of it before we send the next battle. Here we go. As we watch this replay, 2 off there on outer zone 2. Coming through here to outer zone 3. His outer zone 3 looks great, but right here is what we're looking at. Outer zone 3 coming into the touch and go on 4. You see those front wheels lock up that entire time and really choke out Trapper John in the chase position, who was trying to get on that door and unfortunately had quite a big bobble, knocked up some dirt on the entrance to outer zone 4, that touch and go section right there. Coming through the finish line, both of them pretty clean, but here we go. We're on the start line. We are clear to send. We are getting ready for the next 2 competitors. Here we go. Levi Waite giving chase to Trapper John and his C5 Corvette. They are gunning up to the entry point. Both of them entering pretty much at the same time. Little e-brake pole getting ready, getting set up for outer zone 1. Both of them doing a great job in outer zone 1. Both of these guys know how to run perfect lines here at PPIR. Plenty of practice. Trapper John in outer zone 2 doing a great job. And Levi Waite way off course in outer zone 2. Trapper John keeping it together. A little bit of a left foot brake in the outer zone 3. And here we go into the touch and go on 4. Is that going to be the nail in the coffin for our current points leader? You have to assume that that's going to be a huge deduction in the chase position for Levi as well. Looks like we got some dirt thrown up on the touch and go on 5 as well. We are going to have to make sure that we get every replay of this because this has big implications for the points race right now. Coming through on the replay with the drone shot here. Looks like Trapper John is doing an amazing job in outer zone 1 as we watch this replay here. Coming through so smooth under the trailer, flicks it perfect into outer zone 2, fills it all the way, and then Levi with a big dirt drop in outer zone 2. Trapper John in outer zone 3, pretty textbook coming through here, especially in the last half of that zone. He is absolutely cooking that. Comes through to the touch and go here. Perfect in the touch and go. Levi super far inside in the touch and go. Completely offline there, and then dirt drops again on the touch and go right after the horseshoe, right before the finish. That could have huge implications here. We'll have to see what happened. Insane update here. Trapper John, the boy, the dog, in the gorilla, gets the win over Levi Waite, our current points leader. who won in that same C5 Corvette. Last time it was out here piloted by Levi. Now Trapper John taking his own buddy out. There is going to be some animosity in the pits later tonight. I don't know, they're pretty good friends, but they are going to have some words with each other. But these guys are absolutely ripping. Trapper John showing he's still got it. Year off last year, got his mind right, got his car right. That C5 somehow working its way through the field in the losers bracket. Now, speaking of working your way through the field, Mike Pollard here in the Opposition Racing S14. We've also got Kevin in his LS 350Z up at the line. These are two drivers who have won plenty of events here at PPIR and plenty of competition events. Kevin taking first place in our Group A competition at the last Pro-Am round when he did double duty. Here we go. Kevin off the line. We've got Mike Pollard giving chase in that S14. Both of them flicking it in by that initiation point. Here we go. We are through outer zone 1. Both of them look like they're doing a good job. Kevin not super deep into outer zone 1 for the whole thing. Kevin coming through outer zone 2. It looks like Mike Pollard is working that gap down as he closes it down, coming into outer zone 3. Coming into outer zone 3. Some left foot brake for Pollard to set it up perfectly. Kevin doing a good job of getting out there. But now we're seeing this. This is the winner's bracket. We should be seeing perfection from these guys. Looks like Mike Pollard is really closing down the door. Big fireball from Pollard as he comes through the finish line here. Getting us right back to the replay. Steve's going to let us know exactly how that went down so our judges can deliberate on exactly what may have happened on that run. Here we go. Kevin throwing it in here. He doesn't have a ton of angle in the car. He's definitely keeping some serious pace, but he is kind of getting into the outer zone just right there at the end. Here through zone 2. Does a good job at zone 2. Nothing too crazy. Not on the very edge of the zone. Right here when Mike Pollard starts pouring it on. A little bit of left foot brake through the tire smoke, and he's going to be getting there on his door, especially right through here. Turn 4, that touch and go when they have to get to the outside of the track, mimicking the car perfectly. Great transitions, not putting too much pressure on Kevin, maybe saving himself a little bit, making sure no mistakes are made so we can stay here in the winner's bracket. Just a reminder, we are back here in our winner's bracket. We are in the winner's bracket here, so this is going to be the people who have not lost a battle yet. Whoever loses this battle will have a chance for the loser's bracket. They're going to go down and battle people like Trapper John in that loser's bracket there. But we've got Kevin and we've got Mike Pollard sending it right now. Here they go. Mike Pollard with a substantial gap off the line. Throws it in quick. He's trying to make this an inactive chase from Kevin, but Kevin's not going to let him get the room to do that. They are both flying through outer zone 1 as they come under the trailer through to outer zone 2. Mike Pollard way off on. Oh! What? What? Pollard! No! Mike Pollard giving us the hand out the window. He doesn't know what happened ever. Kevin is going to have to check his car. They might have got into each other. Kevin coming back through. Kevin knows he just beat Mike Pollard. An absolute. Whoa! Oh, he's going way out on the bank. Kevin! Kevin, calm down. You're going to get us yelled at, dude. He is so stoked right now. He probably did not imagine that lead run going that way, and he's got to be hyped right now. Mike Pollard, definitely the person to beat in this competition, and just spun it right in front of Kevin's 350Z. Kevin's 350Z is now going to be keeping himself in the winner's bracket there, and Mike Pollard is going to get his car together, get down into the loser's bracket, and now we've got a battle on our hands. This next battle coming up is going to be Stephen Calloway in that blue S14 and Cameron Sorensen in that BMW of some sort. Got a bit of a body kit on us. We're not sure exactly what it is, but he is going to be pulling up to the line here. I believe he is going to be leading.
And how much people those are all the things that how they scored beyond
Looks like the judges may be taking a look at that, but we have cars on track right now. Here we go. Sending them. Cameron Sorensen in the lead. Stephen Calloway in the chase. Little bit of a gap from Cameron. Cameron pouring the angle onto outer zone 1, but doesn't quite get as deep as we would like to see him. Here he goes into outer zone 2. A little bit off outer zone 2 as well. but he's keeping his flow through the course. Outer zone 3. He is in outer zone 3. He's sticking it in there as he comes through to the touch and go in 4. Nice transition, pulling a ton of speed from that BMW. Stephen Calloway doing his best to close that gap down, but really can't get any closer than a car at his closest on there. Cameron Sorensen really needed to fill a little bit more of that zone, but he's also, he's absolutely ripping out here. He was driving so fast, there was no way Stephen Calloway could keep up, even a couple car lengths inside of the line there. As we're watching these replays, you can really see the speed out of the Sorensen's car right there. Coming through the finish line, pouring on the smoke. Zambu there at the start line, getting ready to send them for the second half of this battle. Here we go. Zambu on the line, getting them ready to start. We've got Stephen Calloway leading Cameron Sorensen here on the line. It looks like Bob Chestnut, one of the event organizers, is coming up saying something to the young Sorensen there on the start line. I wonder if they're potentially checking something with the car. He may need to take his competition 5-minute timeout. We've got 2 start line and 2 officials talking to Cameron right now, making sure that he is good to go for this lead run. We shall see exactly how it goes. Looks like they're backing away from the car. Visor down from the Sorensen. Looks like he is ready to rumble. We've got them all walking away from the line right now. So intrigued up here at the tower to see exactly how this is going to go. Here we go. Off the line. They are charging down the straight. Looks like Cameron is getting them get a little bit of a gap here as they both initiate. Stephen Calloway through that outside zone 1. He is way off of outer zone 1, but Cameron's even further inside. Finally dips into outer zone 1 there as they come through outer zone 2 under the trailer. Stephen Calloway quite a bit off of outer zone 2 as well. Coming into outer zone 3, he's doing a great job. Stephen Calloway filling that whole zone and looking amazing while doing it. Coming into outer zone 4, it looks like we have an over-rotation. We have an over-rotation from Cameron Sorensen near the 4th touch and go there. That could be a huge deduction and a 0 in the chase for Cameron. Now keep in mind, this is the winner's bracket, so they will have another chance, but it looks like Cameron is dead in the water right now. Out there, looks like he got the car back started up in the grass. He's going to dig a big hole in our grass right now, and I've heard some noises out of that car that I don't think sound too good. We're going to have him come off of the track here. I'm sure they're going to be trying to get the car ready and trying to make sure that everything goes smoothly here.
Rolling back on that drone footage, we're getting that one more time. Our judges are deliberating on that last run. I mean, it was just so intense. You can see Sorensen sucking it back in after he had a little bit of a distance, keeping that gap close as much as possible. And then he spins out last minute right here. Now, the question is that going to be a lead driver at fault for the spin, or is that a Sorensen situation? I think that's what the judges are trying to deliberate right now. To be a fly on the monitor right now would definitely be interesting, to say the least. Got another angle here of the situation as he comes through. And you can kind of see he's doing just fine, and it almost looks like he choked up a little bit there on that switch. I'm going to pop on over here with the judges and see what they're saying. These guys are really deliberating over here. We're trying to decide 100% what's going on. Backs of our heads right here. They're asking for the replay, but I think you want to see more of the back of my head. I don't know.
Watching these replays here, I'm sure the judges are deliberating who may be at fault there. You see Stephen Calloway way off of that clipping point there through the horseshoe, and we've got Brandon Sorensen with a spin there. Justice. Smile and wave, boys. We are watching some replays here to see exactly what happened, and we are going through some drone footage. The judges are still deliberating on what may be going on here. After some careful deliberation from the judges, it looks like we finally have a call. We have a one more time call on this battle between Cameron Sorensen and Stephen Calloway. We got a track official coming through, checking some cones for us. We're out here. We're having a good time. We want to see these battles go down as cleanly as possible, making sure that everybody is getting their fair chance at this Pro-Am spot to go to Formula Drift here. We've got James Ford pulling up to the line, as well as Mike Pollard, Opposition Racing. We've got two titans of the game right here. James Ford, a fairly new driver, but has his program dialed thanks to After Hours Autosport. Mike Pollard, Opposition Racing, always the guy to beat here at PPIR, always a heavy hitter, and he went out due to an unfortunate mistake in the winner's bracket. He must not be too stoked on that, so we'll see him drive with hopefully some extra aggression, some extra gusto. We're going to make sure we see him absolutely tear through this course as Zambu gets ready to send him at the start line. Here we go. Mike Pollard leading James Ford in that C6 Corvette. Mike Pollard rocketing down the straight. Here we go. This is what we want to see as he comes into Outer Zone 1. Outer Zone 1 just a little bit offline there. Didn't get too deep at the start of it. Now we're coming into Outer Zone 2 under the trailer. Outer Zone 2 looks like he got into that zone there, but not too crazy. Outer Zone 3, here we go. This is where he needs to put it in all the right spots. Gets it deep into the end of outside Zone 3. Here at our touch and go through the horseshoe. He's on a great line through there. We'll see exactly what's going on at the end of this. Potentially a little bit of a bobble out of James Ford as well. Super exciting to watch here. Both of these guys pouring on the smoke, pouring on the angle. As we look through at this replay, you can see Mike just a little bit off on that Outer Zone 1 there. We have him coming into Outer Zone 2. Not crazy deep, but definitely does get into the zone there. We got James Ford right behind him, following in his footsteps. James Ford has to cut the track quite a bit. Mike Pollard stuffs it into the zone right at the end there, and then coming through, this is what we really want to look at here. We have Mike Pollard in the outer clip there. Looks like a little bit of a bobble from James Ford as well in the chase. Then James Ford really pours it on right under our drone footage there. Getting ready to send the other half of this battle. We've got James Ford in that After Hours Autosports Dark Arts Performance C6 leading Mike Pollard in his Opposition Racing S14. Here we go. Gunning off the line. That C6 making all the torque. That S14 making all the power. Saucy entries from both of them. Pollard enters right behind them. James Ford getting deeper into that zone than we saw Pollard, but unfortunately comes out a little bit as well. Pollard knows what he has to do. He's on the door right now. James Ford getting out there. Tons of angle. Mike Pollard transitions right on his door through zone 3. Another hit! Another hit! Could this be the end for Mike Pollard, or did James Ford check up too much going into that corner? We shall see. Mike Pollard definitely on an absolute tear getting up to the door of James Ford. We're going to have to go to a replay and see exactly what happened there. The judges looking very, very closely at this transition. You see Mike Pollard come in with a ton of steam on James Ford, and then unfortunately James Ford getting set up for that outside zone just did not get out of the way fast enough for the approach that Pollard was trying to put down. And this is a full drone footage from this so we can see exactly what may have happened here. Let us know in the comments what you guys are thinking. James Ford doesn't get all the way out to the second outer zone, but you see Mike Pollard so inside on outer zone 2 trying to make up ground. Transitions a little late here and then comes up on the door of James Ford. James Ford puts extra angle in the car right as he does that, and unfortunately that's just a little bit too much of a decel in setting up for that zone that Mike Pollard unfortunately gets into the back of him a little bit and has to stomp on the brakes and unfortunately spun Pollard out. We have a split decision on that call. Looks like one of our judges going for a one more time. The other two calling it James Ford with the win. Unfortunate circumstances for one of our favorites out here, Mike Pollard. That was the loser's bracket battle, so he is going to be out in our top 8 here. And now we are left to just a couple of drivers. I'm going to have to check in to see exactly who is left here. Make sure I'm not getting caught up. I know we have Cameron Sorensen. I know we have James Ford. I know we've got Trapper John and at least one more of our friends. Oh, we got Mr. Tyler over there too in the 350Z. Can't forget about him. Mike Pollard with an unfortunate circumstance spinning out in both of those, but big shout out to all our start line guys, our cam ops, our drone pilots. They are all doing a great job to make sure we're getting every single angle of these most exciting battles. Sweet look at the judges tower here. We've got our judges. We've got Zach Stemmis. We've got Will. We've got Danny. We've got all the boys. We've got sick pit bikes at the judges stand. Look at those things right there. So stoked on pit bikes right now. We've got Cameron Sorensen coming up to the line. We've got Stephen Calloway giving chase. This is, I believe, our first... our last battle of this winner's bracket here, if I remember correctly, after this one more time. We're going to get them set up on the line here. Make sure we got all systems go as we get ready for this top 4 of the winner's bracket, which means we are firmly in the top 8 here. All of these guys going to get second chances if they need them in the loser's bracket. Obviously, we just saw a run through the loser's bracket as well to eliminate a couple more people. But here we go. We have Cameron Sorensen one more time leading Stephen Calloway. Here we go. Off the start line, Cameron Sorensen, Stephen Calloway. Cameron Sorensen pulls a little bit of a gap, gets his entry done. Looks like Calloway has to pull some e-brake behind him and falls behind just a little bit, but he is way off of the zone trying to make up some space on Cameron. Cameron does a good job of getting out to that zone and staying in it. Outer zone 2, Cameron goes a little deep there. At least one tire off. Now here in outer zone 3, he is in it at the start, comes out of it just a little bit. Not quite on the right line, probably due to that dirt drop a little bit. But he is going to get out to the touch and go on 4. Calloway now closing the gap, and Sorensen, touch and go number 5 there. He is coming through the start-finish line, pouring the smoke on. Little bit of a dirt drop there, a little bit of a correction in outer zone 3, but Calloway was doing everything he could to catch up and unfortunately had to chop the line in quite a few places. We're going to look at these cameras here. You can see the 4 or 5 car gap that he's making up just by being on so much more of an inside line with a lot less angle. It's what he had to do to catch up, but definitely not something the judges are stoked on. As the drivers come through here on their cooldown to line back up, we are getting them ready to go.
I know. I get the only corner too. Like everyone thinks they're being my way. They have to be standing on top of the barrier to go the other way.
Here we go. We've got them both on the line. I can hear Brandon Sorensen giving his brother some tips on the start line there right before they go. Obviously, communicating with your spotter is key. We are getting them ready to send us off here. This is a winner's bracket battle, so this is going to be important. It's going to be who's going to the semifinals. They're in the winner's side, who's going to have the easy ride, and who's going to have to take the hard way to battle their way back up through the loser side of the bracket, potentially still being able to take the win if they beat the car in the finals twice. But here we go. We have them here ready to rip on the start line. Looks like Cameron Sorensen's lining up just a little bit behind our other driver. We've got one of the crewmen potentially for Cameron Sorensen just checking everything on that BMW there. Here we go. We got the clear to send. Stephen Calloway leading Cameron Sorensen here. Nissan versus BMW action. The arms drop. Here we go. Cameron Sorensen giving him a little bit of distance on the entry here. Looks like he's going to try to make up that gap, but Stephen Calloway not to be messed with here. Really pouring it on. Cameron Sorensen gets absolutely on his door. Look at this, coming under the trailer side by side. Cameron way deeper than a more angle. Oh no! Cameron Sorensen unfortunately pushing too hard. He went into the grass there on outer zone 2. Opposite drift all the way by our cameramen. Glad all of them are safe. Stephen Calloway is going to finish out his run, put a little exclamation point on staying in the winner's bracket. He is going to have a straight shot into the finals if he can get through Kevin's 350Z. Here's Josh. Let's check out this replay.
Holy crap, bro. Today has been one thing after the next. And to me, I mean, Sorensen's been putting everything on the line, and it seems like everybody's throwing everything they can at him. I don't know, but he seems to be overcoming it.
You know, it's definitely hard to see. You can see that he was pushing so hard into that outer zone 2. He really just had nowhere to go. Track was closing up on him. Stephen Calloway was getting ready to pick up the throttle to go into outer zone 3. That is a natural decel zone, as the judges talked about in the drivers' meeting. So somewhere where Stephen is going to be rolling off of that throttle and slowing his car down. You know that Cameron was on an absolute tear there, trying to put the exclamation point on it. Like you were saying, trying to keep up with everyone throwing so much at him to try to get him knocked out of this competition. But he still has the loser's bracket to contend with if he does not get the win.
That's very true. I mean, at the end of the day, you hit it right on the nose. Cameron has not lost yet, which means even if he does end up taking the L here, he's still got a chance to take it home. And with a third place on the line, and I believe Levi's out at this point, right?
Yeah, so Levi and Bardo, the 1 and 2 from last time, are out of competition. So now Sorensen is the only podium finisher still in competition here. He obviously just got from the judges that, Sorensen did not get the win. He's going to be in the losers bracket now. But we have Stephen Calloway, not somebody to be messed with. He's been absolutely ripping all day, and you can see it by the fact that he's still in the winners bracket. 2 cars that I wouldn't necessarily have expected to be in the winners bracket, still trucking through there, dude. How stoked are you on that?
I mean, I'm stoked on the fact that this is still anybody's game. Not only in the fact that we're going through this bracket. I mean, a ton of people have been eliminated, right? But the fact that we're only in round 2 and our top 2 contenders gone. They're eliminated. We only have Sorensen. He has 1 out of the 2 matches that he's lost, right? So he's still kind of hanging on here. It literally can be anybody's game, and there's a Pro-Am license on the line. I mean, what would you do?
Yeah, Formula Drift, somebody's going to pro spec at the end of this season, and that's something to keep in mind. These guys, they're trying to play it as safe as possible to make sure that they can get their points to be able to win this, but also potentially playing it too safe, then going out. It's a really hard thing to do. You want to keep yourself in that winner's bracket as much as possible. Being in the loser's bracket is such a tough battle, especially when you go down early, like Bardo, obviously, with his mechanical failure, and like Levi, that one slip-up is going to take you out completely. Now Cameron Sorensen, the only person who can establish a dominant lead here would be if he was to get first place in this competition, but he's got to do that exact thing. He's got to go through the loser's bracket. He's got to win that final battle 2 for 2. To make it to the top spot of that podium.
Climb his way back up, quite literally. I mean, it's a situation where it's, the little engine that could, and I feel like that car is kind of a telltale of the situation he's in.
Absolutely, definitely got its fair share of bumps and scrapes going off into the grass pretty hard on that last run. He's got an awesome team of mechanics, though, helping him out, so I'm sure they are taking a look at the car right now in the hot pit area, making sure that it's all dialed in. We've got so many more exciting battles. I'm so stoked. As the sun's going down here in Fountain, Colorado, we are just ready to rip, dude. Everybody's putting it on the line. Everybody is going to keep upping their game from here on out. And it's something where we got the best view in the house, man. We got the best jobs here.
It's very true. I mean, the view, no matter which way you look, is beautiful. We got great race cars going on. We got the mountains in the background. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, we got the whole team sitting here, as you can see. It literally takes an army to make this happen, not just on the live stream side, but on the drift side as well. And that's one of the things we're working on right now is our guys are out here setting up the lights for us so that we can make sure we can keep this ball rolling and just continue to up the stoke.
Yeah, absolutely. You see those light plants being brought out here, making sure we shine some light on Outer Zone 2 and down here in Outer Zone 3 and 4. We want to make sure our judges have the best views possible. We have all of our camera ops moving around, making sure they're in the perfect position with the lighting. And we also have all the boys up here. We've got the judges. We've got some people from my team out here. Everybody's stoked. Everybody. Zach, turn around. We got Zach, we got Noah, we got Will, we got other Zach, we got Danny, we got Brandon Sorensen up here getting the best view, we got Robert Izzo. And if you guys are going to be around, if you got time to come down to Fountain, Colorado tomorrow on Sunday to check us out for the Group B comp. A lot of these dudes are going to be running the Group B comp, and they're hitters. Don't let the slower cars fool you. Group B comp has some of the best battles in Drift, Colorado. We saw it through last year. I experienced it last year. I can say firsthand, if you want to see some raw competition, you got to check out some of these newer drivers and some of these more experienced drivers go head-to-head in their street cars. No bash bars allowed, no crazy tires on the property. We've just got good old boys in E36s, 350Zs, stock C5 vets, and they are killing it out there.
I mean, it's grassroots at its finest. It's one of the best things that we get to see. These guys are putting it, like you said, all on the line. And shout out to Steve Stark over here, who is quite literally directing our show and holding a camera at the same time. Please show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself.
Yeah.
Your boy's doing this backwards. He's manning a camera backwards while directing the show, while making sure we got everything for you and running the replays. This guy is making it happen, and I tell you what, he does the most.
Dude is out here grinding to make sure everyone at home, everyone here tuning in the track who might not have the best view, everybody working on their cars in garages, getting stoked for more Drift Colorado rounds, has the best views possible of this competition. We could not be more stoked to be out here with all of the boys getting ready to crown our second Formula Drift Pro-Am event winner and getting ready to see how this bracket shapes up, dude. This is going to be insane.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, at the end of the day, it is going to be insane. And, yeah, what more is there to say other than we'll see you soon. We're going to get back with you as soon as we got the track ready to go.
Absolutely. You see them setting up these light plants out here, getting everything ready to go. You can see that we have a few cars left in the hot pits, quite a few cars that have gone back, sometimes cars you wouldn't have expected to be back in their pit spot. Like we have Austin Bardo, that unfortunate mishap with his intake manifold, blew the thing clean apart, split it about 12 inches down one of the welds on his intake manifold. I saw one of his crew members stick their hand clean through the throttle body all the way out to the outside air. So very unfortunate for him. You know, big L for the boosted M52 boys out there like myself. But we're still stoked to see him come out because he did great at round 1, so anything could happen at round 3. And that's what I'm most excited about with this round. We've got people out here who they could have gone from not even competing at the last event and done so good this event, and some of the drivers dropped out so early, they might be on the podium for the season with only running 2 events. It's that wide open. You know, all you got to do is win any given Sunday. It could happen for anybody, and we're out here right now watching it happen. Somebody's going to be crowned the winner for this event, and at the next event, somebody's going to be crowned champion, and I could not tell you who that is. Couldn't be more stoked on that fact.
I couldn't be more stoked.
He couldn't be more stoked. Couldn't be more parched either. It's hot out here.
A little
It's hot
parched.
out
A
here.
little parched. Sorry about that. That was some dry throatness.
Oh, man, it happens like that. I hear some cars firing up out there. I want to hear from one of our judges. Maybe we can get Danny over here if he's willing to talk to us a little bit about what he's seen so far, what they were thinking about on that last battle with Cameron going into the grass hard, if there was any shared fault or if that was all one fault there. We'll see if we can get any of these judges to take away from their time here getting all ready for us.
Can I get the question again?
Danny's now with us here officially. So
Hello. Hello.
Danny's officially with us here, so we're gonna ask him what exactly went down on that last battle there, and what was the fault placed? Was it 100% Sorensen's fault, or was it potentially fault of the lead driver as well with Callaway? Is your mic on?
Yeah, my mic's on.
Talk. You gotta babble, dude.
Well, you know, I'm still in the middle of watching this next battle happen, and I'm kind of there right now. I'm zoned out. Yeah, we're still going.
Oh. All right, that was Danny, one of our judges, getting back to his job. Clearly less focused on the broadcast, more focused on making the right decisions. As we see here, our drone going up into the air to make sure they got all the angles for the judges. And we've got Cameron Sorensen on the line here, potentially with an issue getting pushed back off the line. This could be heartbreak city for one of our most opportune drivers here with our other 2 podium finishers for the last event going out. Now it looks like he's being pushed off the line. Maybe he just doesn't have reverse. I'm hoping for the best here.
I think I'm going to go with no reverse.
So hearing here from Brandon, who's so kind to let us know, his transmission is locked in second gear. Absolute heartbreak of a mechanical failure like we've been seeing all day. And
he's still going to run it. I just asked Brandon. I said, so is it full send or what? And he said, yeah. So, we're going to see some full send second gear action, I guess.
Here we go. Take off at a high RPM. Cameron Sorensen locked in second gear on the line. Trapper John pulling up in the lead. Looks like we're going to have a very exciting battle here. This is the loser's bracket. Trapper John has been fighting in this bracket for quite some time now, taking out some heavy hitters. Let's see if he can take out another one of our former podium members. Cameron Sorensen giving it the beans behind him in second. Here we go. Both of them enter. We'll see Cameron Sorensen get onto the door pretty quick here. He's got much faster car than that C5. Trapper John, left foot brake under the bridge. You can really see those brake lights now in the dark. Coming through OZ2. Trapper John on a great line here. Little bit off of the track, but gets it right back in there. Cameron Sorensen with nothing but second gear, not a care in the world. Coming through, dips a tire off the track, going into that touch and go on the horseshoe. Now coming through that last touch and go through the finish line. Both of them making it through a lap clean is impressive. The chase that Cameron put down even more so.
That was some crazy driving. I mean, Cameron was right on Trapper's tail the entire time. Trapper had every single point that he needed to. He was in the zone the entire time. He was dialed in. And, you know, that's the kind of driving we really want to be seeing and have been wanting to see all day. I know we've seen some runs very similar, but, man, that was really incredible to watch.
Man, so impressive knowing about the mechanical failure ahead of time from Brandon, giving us the feedback in the booth here so we can make the call right. But look at this, though. This is a bit of a mistake on Cameron Sorensen's part. He does just tap a little bit off right there in transition, maybe getting a little bit too much steam behind him as he comes behind Trapper John in a much slower C5 Corvette. We're going to line him back up there. I see them pulling through the line. Call this one out for me, Josh.
Man, I am so stoked to see this. Trapper's going to be taking the follow on this, so let's see how Brandon does with his points and his zones, and as long as Trapper can suck it in on his tail, I think we're going to see some crazy battle and some hard-fought judging. So here we go. They are off. Huge engagement from Sorensen. Looks like Trapper's having a little bit of trouble catching up to him, but he is able to close that gap slightly as we get towards the bridge. Sorensen pulling out on the zone exactly where he needs to be. Engaging that switch right here, right into the final clipping zone, exactly where he needs to be. Trapper sucking it in, but a little bit of a gap. And it looks like, I mean, at the end of the day, Brandon put down a textbook run. I would have to say, if it was my personal opinion, Cameron is going to take the win on that. Excuse me, I said Brandon. That is his brother. We've been talking about his brother so much that I mispronounced. But I really believe that Cameron has an advantage in this just based off of how textbook his run was. And his follow was better, in my opinion.
You know, that's something you got to look into and something I'm so glad that we are not judging. We're just up here talking about it.
100%.
It's so hard to nitpick these runs when they're both looking so good. We're seeing on the replay here, Cameron coming into Zone 3 was just right where he needed to be. And when I compare that to Trapper John's Zone 3, when he came in, he was offline. He was on the green paint here at PPIR on that last outer Zone 3. And both of them are doing a great job in both the lead and the follow. But now we have to go down, you know, take it down a little bit deeper. The judges have to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. I'm not sure if we have got a decision yet. We're going to have them held up here to let them know exactly who's going, keeping forward.
Judges asking for a replay of the reverse run where Trapper had the lead so that they can compare notes between the two runs. That's exactly what I was expecting to see because both of these runs were very textbook on both of their leads. And so now it's up to the judges to quite literally sit here and nitpick the tiniest little details out of what's going on and make that decision off of those nitpicks.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see kind of what I was talking there. Trapper John coming into outside Zone 3 in that Corvette was just on a line where he went over the green paint. So he's a little bit too wide right there that the judges would not want to see. I'm going to check in with the judges real quick while we chat over here and see exactly who got the win there. So after some deliberation, Sorensen gets the win, takes out Trapper John, who took out his homie Levi Waite. And he's absolutely shaking up the bracket right now. Sounds like it was just a little bit better lead, a little bit better chase, just small things that Trapper John could have improved on to potentially sway the decision in that vote. But here we go to the line, Josh. You want to call this one out? Let's do it. This is Kevin and Stephen Calloway.
Kevin taking the lead on this one with Steven in the follow on that Sylvia, that beautiful blue Sylvia. Looks like Kevin's putting down quite a bit of a distance. I mean, I wouldn't blame him with that V8 swap Jasper Keys 350Z. It does look like Callaway was able to close the gap a little bit, but he did have to kind of go a weird angle to get there. Kevin coming out of this third zone just a touch on the middle of it here. I think that's going to end up docking him some points. But I will say this follow is having a little bit of a weird situation as well, having to make up for it in weird ways prior to that third zone. I mean, it's really anybody's guess. It's going to depend how this switch up goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing the inverse of this battle. You can see here, it looks like Stephen Callaway is on a little bit of his own line. Wasn't super close on outer zone 1, and then coming through the tunnel there, the Drift Colorado trailer, it seemed like his transition timing was quite a bit off, and that was making it really hard for him to look fluid in that chase position. You see him here way on the inside, and you see obviously that Jasper Keys 350Z LS swap driven by Kevin, and he's just putting it everywhere it needs to be. And you see Stephen Callaway just trying to keep up and trying to chop the line to get there. Not super fluid from the follow car.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, we're competing for a formula license here, so fluidity is really the key thing, right? We want to see fluidity both in the way that they set up that lead, but also in the way that they follow. And I really don't feel like we saw that on either side, to be honest.
You know, I saw a couple mistakes out of Kevin in that 350Z, but nothing that's a huge dock. Definitely when they talk about the definitely when you're talking about the chase, we talk about it a lot in drivers' meetings for drifting in general, just when it's fun, and for driving in competition, everything from B group, the street class, all the way up to Pro-Am. You see that these cars, you have to be following the leader. It's not something where you can run your own line just a couple cars behind him. You want to be sucked up to his door. You want to be tapping his door with your front lead wheel. And it looks like Steven may have had some issues on that lap because he is calling his 5-minute competition timeout. So we're going to see if we can run potentially a loser's bracket battle, or if we're going to have him hang out here at the front with us. But we have that Jasper Keys 350Z sitting pretty on the line right now. He's going to get told that he has 5 minutes to do whatever he wants to do with, as long as it's not work on his car. So maybe he might just sit there and hang out, might make room for another battle. We'll have to see what the bracket guys down at the start line are cooking up for us.
This has truly been an amazing battle, I have to say. I mean, all of these drivers have been putting out some really good driving today. And, I may have said it earlier that some of them haven't. And I feel like they heard me and said, you know what, I will. Josh, I hear you. Let's put some effort in. And they took my words to heart, because at the end of the day, they really have stepped up their game in the second half of this bracket.
Absolutely. You see that here in Pro-Am competition. You see, they said, say it with some bass if you're going to say that about me. Everybody is turning it up to 11 as the light starts to fade here at Pikes Peak International Raceway down here in Fountain, Colorado. We've got Formula Drift Pro-Am getting ready. This is our final battle before the finals in our winners bracket. It gets a little convoluted at this point for the winners and the losers bracket, but we've got Kevin in that 350Z, and we've got Stephen Callaway in that S14. Both of them looking great all day. Both of them obviously cruising through that winners bracket. And then we've got the losers bracket, where they have been laying in wait to make sure that they can get everything and every opportunity they can to get back to that final battle. Now, if you haven't seen a double elimination competition before, that is something where in the finals, the one who hasn't lost, the one that is in the winner's bracket, they have to win once. That loser's bracket, they have to win twice. So it is much harder in the loser's bracket to win that finals battle, but it is obviously doable, and these guys are still stoked on being able to potentially have a spot at the podium. Obviously, second place is within their grasp as long as they make it to that final battle, but also having a chance to battle from the losers bracket to get the win here if they can put two perfect runs together in our finals here. And you'll be seeing us. We will not be calling out winners. When we go to the finals battles, we will only be calling out if we have one more battle or if we have a decision being made. So it's going to be an interesting one. As the sun goes down, we're going to have everything ready to go. It sounds like we've got the Dark Arts Performance C6 loading up some burnouts behind us, getting his tires nice and warm for this loser's bracket battle. I believe he's going up against Cameron Sorensen, if I have my bracket knowledge correct here in my noggin. but we are going to be seeing a winner's battle first here. We are giving him a couple more minutes to get to the line. Obviously, he's got that time in his 5 minutes. You can catch us on the Discord of Drift Colorado if you want some live event updates from Bob Chestnut, Justin Chestnut, who are keeping us updated on exactly what's going on with these 5-minute timeouts. I'll check that right now. Off to you, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, Bob and Justin are super stoked. After Hours Autosports has put so much time and effort into making sure that this licensing event is a good event, that we are set up the way we need to be, that we have live brackets, that everybody knows where they need to be, that the judges know exactly how they need to be judging, that the rules are the way they need to be, so that these guys are ready for the pros when whoever it is takes that win ends up with that license at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're sending somebody to Prospect to represent Colorado, represent our Drift Series, you want to make sure they're as prepared as possible. You want to make sure they are the cream of the crop. We already have some Colorado drifters in Formula Drift, such as Justin Chestnut himself, who plays a huge part in setting this up. He wants to help Colorado drifting as much as anybody else here, and obviously our current points leader, but potentially not for long, Levi Waite, also a huge influence on Colorado drifting. Both of them working tirelessly along with both of their crews and all of the people we have out here on the podium or on the stand with us right now and out there on the track. Everybody's putting up their best effort to make sure that Colorado gets put on the map in a positive light.
And it truly shows. Speaking of positive light, we have lights on the track and are able to do this event because of all of the volunteers that come out here to help Levi and Drift Colorado make this event possible. And I know we've been shouting them out this entire time, but we really, truly wouldn't be here without them. So thank you so much, you guys. And if you guys see a volunteer when you're at one of our track events, those of you tuning in live, those of you who are listening to us right now, give them a hug. Say thank you. You know, Simon's been saying it. They're in the bright green shirts. They're not hard to see. Make sure you give them a hug. Make sure once the track is no longer hot that you give them a drink or a shot or something like that, because at the end of the day, they're going to say thank you. It's been a hot day. It's been a long day. We've been putting up with as much as we can to make this happen for you guys and to make this happen for all the drivers. And let me tell you, it is happening.
And now we're seeing Kevin pull through in that 350Z. I'm unsure if he's just doing a cool down for his car or if potentially he has to check some stuff. It looks like we're going to be running a loser's bracket battle, so that 350Z was just making way. We've got Cameron Sorensen potentially still locked in second gear. Now, unsure if they were able to get that sorted out. We no longer have Brandon Sorensen up here in the booth with us. Is he still in second? Giving me the nod here that he's still locked in second, going up against James Ford, an absolute machine, someone you will never see not pushing it to the absolute limits of the track and potentially beyond. You know, I will yell about my grass, but I'll be yelling with excitement. We are excited to see these dudes push the envelope. We're excited to see both of these drivers going head-to-head, and we got the clear to send from the judges. Zambu, one of our volunteers, up there on the line saying, get ready to go, boys. Here we go. C6 Corvette Dark Arts Performance. James Ford initiates with a huge flick. Cameron Sorensen dives in behind him, super close. Has to check up that speed a little bit. He was coming in like an absolute rocket. And here we go. Cameron Sorensen in the chase, putting the pressure on. James Ford not as deep as we would love to see him in that lead position. We have him coming through here way off of outer zone 3, unfortunately. But Cameron is right there in his door, making his presence felt, making sure he's knocking on the door of another podium here at Drift Colorado Pro-Am. Oh my God, look at this, Josh. How are we feeling?
We are feeling the stoke. I know at the end of the day, as the smoke clears from that run, I'm sure Sorensen, as well as I'm sure Sorensen and Ford are both feeling the same stoke. We are just in a different way. I mean, that was some crazy driving. You can see it here on the replay. They're putting it in exactly the way they need to. You know, Ford has this just textbook entry right here on this third corner, and I just loved it. And you know, as you watch Sorensen suck it in right on his tail there, he left no room for error, and there was no error. And that's the kind of driving I like to see.
Yeah, definitely something where I would have loved to see James Ford a little bit deeper in those zones, but we love to nitpick up here. Cameron Sorensen did have a little bit of a bobble. He definitely had to check some speed up on that entry. You see both of them pumping those left foot brakes as we turn into dusk here at PPIR. We have them both coming through this last corner, and this is where I really like to see the tandems get super tight. You can see both of them coming through on the right line. You see Cameron roasting those tires right behind that C6 of James Ford. This is exciting stuff. We are stoked on this one. And we are back up at the line, getting a clear to send from the judges. Josh, take it away on this live action.
Live action sent to you. We've got the lead here. Cameron switching it up to run the lead run here while Ford behind him. It's going to be anybody's game here as both drivers put it all on the line on the previous run here. So we've got the switch underneath the trailer. A little wobble from Ford on the follow, but he sucks it right back in. Nice engagement into clipping zone 3 by Brandon Ford, right on his tail. Almost a pass by Ford on that last one there, but Sorensen said no.
Man, they are absolutely ripping through this course. You can see James Ford pushing at every opportunity that Brandon was given, or that Cameron was giving him, and Cameron was giving him awesome opportunities because he was on the correct line then. You got to compare lead for lead, chase for chase here. Now, obviously, we are not judges, but I was loving that chase from Ford. He was really, really, really putting that exclamation point in the judge's mind like, hey, I'm here to party, I'm here to take people out. I'm in the loser's bracket, but that doesn't mean I don't have a shot at the win. And here we go. Cameron Sorensen, though, I think he was a little bit better in that lead position, more fluid and in the right spots on the track, a little bit deeper into those zones. What are you thinking after seeing the replay?
I mean, I'm definitely on the Sorensen train. I think he's going to end up taking it down all the way to the end here. I mean, he's been just driving like crazy, putting up with one thing after another. I mean, driving with a second gear only, and he's still making it happen. And this is crazy to me.
You know, Brandon said something while we were not really chatting about it, but when we were talking about being stuck in second gear, all that Brandon said, his older brother, was one less thing to worry about. Just send it off the line as hard as you can. Make sure you don't get a gap built up on you. And with a fast car like this After Hours Autosport C6, you have to make sure that you're gunning it off the line to stay in a competitive position while you start that chase. As we're seeing here, we're seeing the third brake light go off so we can make sure we know where they're checking up. Awesome tool for the judges, especially as it gets darker here. Something we can see through the smoke to see who's making corrections and who's pedal to the metal making it happen. And we have the judges deciding unanimously Sorensen with the win on this. Now we are going back to the inverse of this battle that we had a 5-minute timeout called. Now, if you remember, Callaway had a hard time in the chase of this first part of this battle. If you guys are just tuning in here, we've got this 350Z LS Swap Jasper Parts Ripper. This is the winner's bracket here. So we got Stephen Callaway, we've got Kevin in that 350Z, Kevin giving chase, Stephen Callaway taking off on the line. Here we go into the entry here, both of them doing a little flick, coming through zone 1. It's getting dark out, but we are still raging on. We've got them through the first zone here into outer clip number 2. Big straighten out of Kevin, huge straighten out of Kevin in the chase position. We got Stephen Callaway is nowhere to be found in that third outside zone. That's going to be a huge deduction as well. This is going to be interesting for the judges to deliberate. Stephen Callaway nowhere close to that outside zone 3, coming through the final corner. Both of them seem to clean it up right at the end there, but man, 2 big mistakes from 2 of our most winning drivers of this competition. Neither one has lost at this point. Oh my goodness, here we go. We've got Stephen Callaway. Looks like they might be taking a look at his car as we take a look at this replay. They're just checking in with him over on the start line here. Look at this replay here. You can see that Stephen Callaway is so far inside. That's something we'd see in more of a Group B type line or more of a party line, just not giving your homie the space to get up on your door there. And that's a huge deduction in the judge's eyes because it has to be a lead run that is easy to follow.
It has been such an amazing day today, Simon. I mean, these drivers have been putting it all on the line between watching our bracket quite literally shift, our first and second place point leaders ending up, no longer in that position, and watching our third place point leader climb up the bracket. I'm so excited to see what the announcement is on this award ceremony because it could literally be anybody's game. And this whole bracket, this entire system just got thrown a curveball. And I am so stoked on the fact that it is quite literally anybody's ticket right now.
Yeah, you know what? I could not tell you who the podium is going to be. I could not tell you who first place is going to be. But it is awesome to be out here watching all of these guys battle it out. Looks like the judges are still deliberating. We are checking for another replay to be able to see the first half of this battle. This is going to be Here we go. We're checking the replay, and now this is what happened before the 5-minute competition timeout taken by Stephen Calloway. You can see Kevin in that 350Z does so much better of a job filling that third outer zone, and you can see big problems in the chase for Stephen Calloway. This is going to be something where we have to check out and see if Stephen Calloway did straighten in his chase at any point a couple minutes ago. Needing these replays brought to us by Steve to make sure we can get every piece of the action. Now, as the judges are deliberating, he is going to be checking it out with the judges here. We got Robert Izzo up in the booth with us. Robert, how are you feeling about this Pro-Am competition, dude?
Looks like a lot of the veteran guys are having a rough time out here, making errors, making moves they shouldn't be. Seems like maybe the track surface is a little difficult to drive on. It's just a rough day for some of the veteran people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, track knowledge only goes so far when the track is changing. Now that that sun is down, not on the asphalt, you'll see that asphalt get quite a bit cooler, quite a bit more grip getting put into the track here, and that's going to lead to a lot of people, potentially being inside on zones when they thought they were going to float out a little bit more than they currently are. So we're watching this replay. This is right before Steven called his 5-minute timeout, I believe, and we're checking this out right now. Yeah, that was him pulling back from the line. Obviously, quite a bit of time gap in between this, so we may not be 100% up to speed on exactly what happened on that first battle. We want to make sure the judges have every chance to deliberate.
Yeah, they need to turn it towards away from me. It says I'm at the last 2 bars.
We have some track officials trying to make sure that we can get some more light on the track. They are watching the replay one more time as they come under the trailer here in this replay. This is Stephen Calloway leaving Kevin. You can see that big bobble right there. Maybe a straighten, maybe not. According to the new Formula Drift rules, you have to be able to say Formula Drift in the time that they were straight. So is that just a big bobble and not necessarily a 0, or is that a 0? I assume that's what the judges are contemplating right now and deliberating. This is what we are looking for here. We are looking to see right when they come out from underneath the trailer as we switch the cameras here. Looks like we have a huge bobble, potentially a straighten. This is going to determine the winner of this match. As we see right here, you can see him come through and have that big correction there.
No, right across the bridge. It's a second building, not the first.
Coming
building
through
right
here,
there,
checking
but
out
just go
every
one
angle
deeper.
that we have of this one.
Yeah, way better.
Oh man,
Thank you so
big
much.
bobble, potentially opposite drift almost, but definitely a huge deduction. We're gonna have to see who we're gonna give this to. This is not a time that I would like to be a judge. This is rough stuff.
Looking for, okay, we're in good shape.
Man, running this back over and over and over again. These judges are doing everything they can to see every speck of evidence that could push this either way. This is a huge battle here that's going to decide who is going to the finals and who is going to the losers bracket. So they got to make sure they get this right. We are also checking out to see if we can get some extra lights on track as well. Looks like we have a split decision coming out of the judges' tower. Here we go. We have some deliberation going on. We should be getting a verdict very soon here. We know the suspense is building for you guys at home. I want to take this time to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. If you guys are tuned in, After Hours Auto Sport, Big Nick's Auto, Springs Tire and Auto, 3 Series Auto Parts, all of these dudes putting on to make sure we can put on an awesome event. Shout out to Levi Waite driving in his own event here with Drift Colorado, and PPR for making it all happen, giving us a place to drift all the time. Here we go. We've got some more deliberation from the judges. I hear them talking, in a very controlled fashion, but making sure that they can see exactly who is going to go to the finals here.
And deliberate they must, because this is a lot on the line. And so I think the judges know that, but it does sound like they may be coming to a conclusion. Let me check in with them real quick.
This is the hardest time to be a judge, when it's down to the wire, when the sun is setting, and when you have somebody's fate in your hands. You want to make sure you are being fair to everybody. I've heard them kick around some terms such as Outer Zone 1, Outer Zone 3 for Stephen Calloway, as far as him not getting all the way out to those zones. And by that, I mean really far off those zones. So it's one of those things where we have a big mistake from the 350Z, but we have multiple huge mistakes from the 240 as well. Obviously, we're just going to have to see what the judges are going to call, and I'm going to try to get one of their opinions on here if we can, to see exactly what they were feeling and what's going on here.
I mean, it's going to be hard to hear, but
It's not the same. It has air brakes. It's freaking weird as shit.
We have a split decision, but we have Tyler in that 350Z getting the win. We've got the 350Z with the win. I've got two of the judges up here with me. And let's start off with Will. Will, you actually voted for the 240. And
The 240 Callaway had a pretty rough lead and follow lap, but in my opinion, he completed both laps, and the Z had a bobble / straighten. I feel like he got an incomplete on his follow, so I voted for Callaway in the 240.
yeah, definitely a hard one, and I think it did come down to, was that a bobble or was that a zero? You know, was that a big deduction or a zero? Because we had multiple big deductions, it looked like, from Stephen Callaway, but if it's a zero, it's a zero, and that's the end of that. And I think that's where the split is. But we got Zach here with us too, who did vote for the Z to continue on. How did you feel as far as bobble versus straighten, and how did that affect your decision? Was it really cumulative on Stephen Callaway, and how many big mistakes he had that might have outweighed that potential straighten / bobble on the Z?
For me, it was strictly that I could not, in the replays, no matter how many times we watched them, say for certainty, yes, he was straight for a full formula drift, which is what the rulebook calls for. He was definitely close, and it was kind of a toss-up, which is why we were split. But overall, he had a better lead run and was in the zones, while there were a lot of mistakes on both ends. Unfortunately, it just has to go that way, and with the late hour, we just have to make a call.
Yeah, absolutely something that we would have loved to see 10 one more times of those battles. Those were fun to watch, even with the mistakes that we saw. We are going to be sending some of our competitors out on a sight lap here. They are going to be checking out the track. It looks like we have a couple trucks on track, too, making their way back into the infield to make sure that they can be all set up, too. Looks like they're going to be putting trucks over the track for lighting. This is potentially by driver request here if the drivers needed it to see. It does get dark out here when we don't have the moon out. So we do have Kevin out here in that 350Z going to be doing a sight lap. It looks like everybody's going to be doing a sight lap, just taking a look at how the track conditions have changed since we did take a long time setting up lights and deliberating. We've got some vehicles out here also making sure they're lighting up the way for these drivers. We'll see how that works out for everybody. Oh my goodness, we have some craziness developing in an already crazy competition. We are sending a vehicle on a sight lap to make sure that they can see everything on the track, making sure that we are well lit here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. And it looks like we are sending Kevin to see if he can see everything that he needs to. Here we go, multiple competitors making their way around the track, half drifting, half just driving through it to get a scope on everything. As the lights go down on PPIR, we are getting ready to finish up the Formula Drift Pro-Am competition. Our next battle is going to be Cameron Sorensen versus Stephen Calloway in that S14, trying to see who is going to be going to the finals. We have some interesting developments here. We're going to check in with our start line team and see exactly what's going on.
Holy mother of God.
We have 3 more battles. We've got Tyler versus Callaway, Forward versus Sorensen, and then we'll
Yeah, and then it's the last two versus each other.
right.
Holy cow! So who's in the winner bracket? Who's gonna take on the winner this one?
So Tyler and Callaway. Callaway is the one that's really been holding, but so is Tyler. So Tyler's going to be the lead.
We have got a couple of complications on the line. We have got potentially some miscommunication here, them thinking it was a one more time. We have Cameron Sorensen, who should be battling against Stephen Calloway here in the losers bracket, but we have to make sure we've got everything correct here.
Man, that kid's got a ton. Yeah, I saw he's puking. Yeah, the kid was throwing up all over the place. Oh, it smoked you. You ain't beating me on it. Yep. Oh, big leagues now. That's funny. They just like having you sit out.
We got Nick, Big Nick from Big Nick's Auto on the line here in his sick golf cart. He unfortunately went out in practice before he could get an opportunity to run with us. And we're getting some new updates from the line, so we're going to take a listen into what's going on here. The judges are adamant they have already found. I got you. The judges are adamant here. They have already found a winner of the last battle. Both drivers in that battle thinking it was going to be a one more time, potentially because of the time taken to deliberate on that battle. So both of those drivers were up at the line ready for a one more time. But that is not what the judges have decided, the judges decided we are going to be going into a battle with Cameron Sorensen, Stephen Calloway in the losers bracket to see who is going to go into the finals of this. Now the loser of this will be on the box as well, so we'll have our top 4 all pull up to the podium here so we can make sure that we show out for everybody who has made it to the box so far this competition. So many amazing moments already have gone down, but it's time to decide who is going to be our champion for today. So now Stephen Calloway is going to be staying on the line there as Kevin pulls back into his hot pit to get ready for his finals battles, and we have Cameron Sorensen pulling up to the line.
Oh yeah. They're brutal.
We've got lights shining bright from multiple different vehicles helping to light up this track. Going to get the rest of this competition done here as we're waiting for Cameron Sorensen to pull up to the line. Well, here we are, guys. Just you and me in an intimate moment as we wait for Cameron Sorensen to pull up to the line. We've got Zach right here, one of our judges, trying to get a handle on the situation at the line. We have got Stephen Calloway waiting at the line. Cameron Sorensen, who does not have a 5-minute timeout remaining to my knowledge, waiting for him to get up to the line. We are giving him a little bit of leeway just because it was so convoluted on the last decision and thinking that it was a one more time between those two vehicles. If it was a one more time between those two vehicles in the previous battle with Kevin and Stephen Calloway, it was going to be a lot different timing-wise for Cameron. But here, Cameron is coming up to the line, so we are ready to send another battle. Mike, come up here and announce with me, dude. Come here. We got the one and only Mike Pollard walking up the steps to the stand here. Mike, obviously in high spirits as always. Mike, unfortunate circumstances here. Did you? I heard you saying you were having some issues with the tire. You were running out of tire. Tires were wearing too fast for you on this long of a layout.
I know better, but I definitely decided my pocket didn't want to spend for 8 more tires. So I ran out, and then I used something that was way too grippy that I had no date on. And yeah, I just overgripped myself into the loss. But I did get outdriven, so let's state that. James did great. Kevin did great. Everyone drove great. And it was hot.
It's hot out there, man. Everybody's glistening right now. We have a little bit more competition to go, but awesome to hear that from you. What tires were you on that were a little too gripped up?
Actually, I had a stash of Achilles 123s, which aren't even made anymore. And I had them, and it was like the last grippy set of tires I had, so just kind of had to run it and hope for the best, but it was definitely not the best.
Hey, man, stuff like that happens in drifting. I was talking a little bit earlier today about getting fronted tires from an event from my boys when I couldn't buy any more, and I had to go make a round and pulled out some of the OG stash of 123s to make the next battle. But unfortunately, just the change of setup mid-competition can really be a dagger. Here we go. We've got Cameron Sorensen. Dude, watch this with me. I want you to call out if you see something, dude, and we will have this battle underway shortly. Here we go. We've got Stephen Calloway in the lead, Brandon Sorensen in the chase. That BMW absolutely gripping up behind the 240. You can see our trucks lighting up the track as we pan through under the trailer here, coming into outer zone 2. Stephen Calloway dumps some angle into it, coming through into outer zone 3, hits outer zone 3 perfectly. You know that he heard us talk about how shallow he was in zone 3 on the last battle. He made sure he filled all of that, but still looks like he's taking a little bit of a kind of a compromised line through the touch and go of 4 and 5, but they come through the finish. Mike, what did you see on that one?
Honestly, I'm loving the way Callaway is driving. He's hitting the zones as he's supposed to as a lead car. I know he talked to me and he switched to FDF recently, and now he's like, dude, I love this. So I'm really glad to see him doing so well. And honestly, Sorensen also doing well. In that run, I did see kind of just cutting the line in the chase to keep up. So it's kind of wild, but yeah, Callaway is kind of running away, and if he can do what he's doing in the lead in the chase and just match where Sorensen's going, I think he might have this one in the bag.
That's going to be amazing to see. Obviously, Kevin and Steven both in the winner's bracket just a few moments ago, but now we have Sorensen and Callaway battling it out in the loser's bracket, trying to make sure that they secure the highest steps possible on that podium. And here we go. We are going to run the inverse as they come up to the line, and we're getting ready to send them. This is going to be exciting as we see coming out here, Brandon Sorensen diving out of the gate. He is putting a huge gap on Stephen Callaway. Got a huge reaction out of Mike here. Here we go.
He's on 1, 2, 3s. I saw him on his trailer. He's on 1, 2, 3.
That boy's quick. That boy's quick coming through outer 2. Can he get all the way out to the zone? Pulls a lot of angle out of it. Has a weird line coming through there. But here we go. He is coming through outer zone 3. Puts it where he needs to. Stephen Callaway almost going in front of his front tires there, which could be a deduction. Oh, huge dirt drop from one of our drivers. Potential straighten from Stephen Callaway. We have to look at that one on the replay. I hope we have some footage that will show us exactly what went down there. Can't hardly see the track from the judges' tower. These guys are ripping. Mike, what do you think?
I mean, to be fair, I really couldn't see what happened. I saw dirt. I could tell Sorensen's on 1, 2, 3s. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Sorensen has a little weird transition there, but he's still getting back outside. I know he did dirt drop coming through one of the last transitions. Don't know how bad it was. Oh, that's 2 off. Yeah, judges might look at that in a scenario where he's so far off, he kind of made the mistake, and he can't really worry what Callaway's doing because he's already off course. But I'm not the judge right now. But it could potentially go one more time because I did see mistakes by each driver. But I can tell if Sorensen's not on 1, 2, 3, I'll give him 100.
Sorensen absolutely ripping off the start there. And like Mike was saying here up in the booth with us, he is he's getting so gripped up out of outer zone 3, he just cooks it into that touch and go, takes out our cones there for that outer zone, outer touch and go. And with that, if he's on the dirt and he's really slowing down because he got no traction on that dirt, could potentially take some fault away from Stephen Callaway in the chase, who had a difficult time keeping his car in drift behind the BMW of Cameron Sorensen. So something where, you kind of got to take both into account. And I see all 3 judges on their feet deliberating, checking through all of the replays that we had, and they were making sure that they were talking it through to get to the bottom of this. It's really hard to be a judge right now. Visibility is low. Our camera's ISO is all the way up, trying to bring you guys a clear picture. And we have no ISO according to Steve. Oh, geez. But yeah, we're having ourselves a heck of a time, and I'm sure that the judges are having themselves a heck of a time. I want to go over to the judges and ask them. They are going one more time. The judges said terrible time for it. We're going to have to wait for some tire swaps, but we are going to see this battle get run again. I want to see both of these drivers cleaning it up. I want to see both of these drivers really turn up the effort and make sure that they are getting the best possible outcome from this losers bracket battle. This is the last chance for one of these drivers to show us what they have, and we are waiting to see exactly what comes of it. They're going to do a quick tire swap as fast as they can, and then we've got Kevin in the hot seat getting ready. He's got to lose 2 times now for him not to take first spot, but we will see exactly how that goes down. We got Danny on the camera right now. Look at this man's right here. Look at all of our guys right here. We got Zach, Danny, Mike, myself. We got Izzo on the bench right now. We got Will way over there. Look at this. We're all looking at the monitor. We're doing some camera inception here.
No, they don't even sell them anymore. I'm telling you, Achilles are a trap. If you have 1, 2, 3s, put them in the trash.
Dang. I mean, 1, 2, 3s, it's a trap. Yeah, we're all on the Kenders now. Mike did not like that one. I'm a huge Kenda dude.
For the supporters of Tour Tires, I appreciate their support. Always help me out. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, dude, Vitor Tires looking fast out there today. I'm still loyal to the Kentas through and through. Love my boy Ed. Don't look at me like you're about to push me off this platform, dude.
I love Kentas too.
I mean, yeah, hey. You gonna spin out in front of me too?
They have gotten much better. Let's not hate, because the grippy Kendas that are now for sale, I have heard and seen, and they are doing pretty damn well.
Big time rivalry going right now. What do you think about round 3? We just go off the trailer grudge match.
What do you mean? Like
next Pro-Am round 3 grudge match off the trailer.
It's my buddy's wedding, so I won't be there.
Oh no, man! Couldn't come just disrupt the point spread for us here in this event, dude. I know you. Listen, I don't bet. I don't place any wagers on these because I'm up here in the booth. I can't. But man, you right now, yeah. If there's anybody with money on this event, they're pissed at you right now. They're pissed right now. Hey, if you are putting money on Mike to win, you better put money into his tire budget too. That's all he's saying for you guys. Hey, quick shout out to Brandon Missileworks, who was out here. Unfortunately, had a big issue with his JZ and his E36. That was the guy that I would have put money on to be in the finals with you. And really unfortunate to see him. Such an awesome car builder, such an awesome dude. He was wearing the Night Terror merch today. It might have put a curse on him, but unfortunate to see. And Big Nick as well, awesome supporter of the series, awesome driver in his Corvette. Sucks to see some of the boys going out, before the competition even starts, and sucks to see some of the boys going out in competition as well with different car setup changes and obviously changing track conditions. It can be super hard to keep up with everything. But, Mike, where's your next event going to be at? Where can we see you next?
Actually, next weekend I'll be heading up to Fargo, outside Fargo, Minnesota, and Glendon for the SRD 10K competition. So that is where I'll be next week. And hopefully I fix my door, which doesn't open right now.
Oh, man, you gotta Dukes of Hazzard that thing, man. Just hop on in there. But, yeah, we're going to be stoked to root for a Colorado homie out there at the 10K, like he said. It's going to be awesome to see. We've got these cars, looks like they're fired back up after switching some tires and are going to be back out here shortly. We can see them over in the hot pits working diligently to get their cars back together. They really have their work cut out for them as it gets closer and closer to the finals. Pollard, how hard is it when you and your entire crew have been baking out in the sun all day and you got to swap tires as fast as possible, make sure you don't make any mistakes that could put you out of competition?
It's always difficult, and that's why I appreciate everybody that shows up and helps. And today, obviously, I got to shout out Tirso for helping with some camera stuff and in the pit, and Steve Sampier with Divulge Motorsports, my boss. He came out and pitted for me because my usual guy, Dave, was doing a haul today. So holler at Dave, Opposition RC. But it's hard. It's hot. I had to take a little nap in the trailer trying to get some energy back. My inner thighs were cramping. You know, it's tough. You try to stay hydrated, but you do the best you can, and everyone who helps you is, you know, more can't be said about the people that aren't driving but are sitting out in the heat helping us out. So it's amazing and, you know, priceless.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. I know when I'm out there competing and I got, you know, my team of homies who's all out there in the BMWs, and I pull into the hot pits, and I have no idea what to even tell these guys to do. I need tires. I need, you know, more fuel in the car. I need to make sure that they double check the alignment if we have the time for it. I need to make sure they look under the car, make sure I'm not leaking anything. And I pull up to the pits, and all of my homies just get on exactly what they need to do. I can take the time to calm myself down, get ready for the next battle. That's invaluable, man. You gotta give a huge shout out to all of the dudes who are out there helping all their homies succeed. And speaking of the homies, check Group B. Check all the dogs who are coming up out here in the street class. Group B, Drift Colorado. They're going to be out there battling it out, and you're going to see some carnage out there from these newer drivers. Shout out Zach Whipple. Shout out Noah. They were both up here with us earlier in the day. Both those dudes, ones to watch. Shout out Corey Stainless Jeeper, another great fab guy. Out here at Group B, they're all going to be throwing down. If you see an E36 that throws down a heater chase, that's my son. You gotta give him what's up, dude. No, all these dudes, especially all of the track officials, all of the people who are helping out Drift Colorado, helping out this live stream. It is finally cool enough to where I have stopped sweating. I don't know if you have. You've been.
I don't know, man.
So
I'm a little heat flashed right now, but you are killing it with the voice stuff, man.
Dude,
You're on fire. I'm trying to keep up because you're doing it, man.
I'm just yapping, dude. You got to be delusional enough to think you're saying the right thing sometimes.
Well,
when
you know.
everybody's they're coming under the trailer like every time, dude. The trailer's so nuts.
I mean, at least you haven't said doctor once, so that's positive.
I haven't, dude. And you know what? Jared Deanda talked a lot of shit on my 7 Series at a Grid Life one time, so I got to make sure. I got to make sure I'm keeping within his spirit, and I got to make sure I'm doing at least a good enough job that Jared Deanda wouldn't be too pissed at me right now. Maybe you'll throw in a doctor on one of these next laps.
No. The doctor's been eliminated. I took him out.
Yeah, the drift doctor's gone.
Levi's
dead,
to
bro.
be said, honestly, it's amazing to see kind of the level of driving step up. And I honestly, every battle was kind of a heater. Like, there was not really an easy path. Everyone's kind of stepping their game up. Less mistakes are being made, which is great to see because it's elevating the competition here, and the drivers are getting better. And Callaway, for one, seeing him kind of come off. He's been tinkering, building, buying cars, selling cars, and it's never really been set up enough to get him through a competition. So I'm really happy for him and seeing what he's doing out here. And as well as Sorensen, you know, he's a young kid, has a bright future if he keeps this up. And I know that family's, you know, with Amanda and Brandon, they're already out doing it. So it's kind of cool to see the next phase coming in.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, we've got everybody in this Pro-Am series has a shot, whether you're in a pretty stock C5 Corvette, a BMW, a Nissan. You know, there's nobody who you draw in this competition and you say, oh, I'm sitting back in my chair. This is going to be an easy one, because you know if you make a mistake, someone's going to be right there ready to capitalize. As we see, this is actually Brandon Sorensen from earlier today in the A-Class competition, not Cameron here.
I was so confused. I was like, that is not the same car.
You're like, wait, that's not the same car or the same line.
So
they
brought
doing some
multiple family members, and we can't tell who's who anymore.
Yeah, it's going to start getting real convoluted.
You know what? I want you to prove that was actually the little man. Did you see the helmet height? Is there any proof here, or they got the Sorensen Mace mask going on?
Oh my God! What if they were just? I mean,
just switching and swapping.
Unfortunately, I see Brandon right here, so you can't use that scapegoat.
Yeah, he's here.
But,
all right, he's the spotter. Yep. I'm still. The heat was actually on my brain the whole day, so you just have to bear with me.
Oh man, we're doing our best here as we wait for this tire swap. Seemingly the longest tire swap ever, but only because we have to talk through the entire thing.
To be absolutely fair, I don't think I would be able to see in this lighting.
Right now?
Like, if I was in this final, I might just be blind.
I'm a Toge kid who never has headlights, so...
Look, I'm old now, okay? I feel like I'm old. I've been doing this 25 years.
You've been doing this 25 years?
Yeah.
You've been doing this longer than I've been alive?
About 2000 is when I started.
Buddy's nuts.
Yeah.
Been putting it down forever.
Yep, still here.
Uh-oh, a fun fact coming over from
Uh-oh,
Danny.
fun fact from Aslov. Here we go. Oh, boy.
All right, here's something I can talk about. This is good. Fun fact. When I started figuring out what drifting was, when I was just like a wee little lad.
Just a little boy.
You call it knee high to a grasshopper. I looked up. Mike was my hero, and then I got to go for a ride along with him, and it changed drifting forever for me. And then I got to work with him as a friend.
Man.
Across I don't know, the last 6 or 7
He
years.
was trying to make these tears. Who's cutting onions?
Me. Thanks, Mike.
I appreciate you, Danny.
Hey, big shout out to Mike. Big shout out to Danny, dude. We have got a driver pulling to the line, it seems, after that heartfelt message from Danny. I got to say, the first backy that I ever saw was Mike here at PPIR.
Hey.
Here at PPIR, I saw that, and I was like, I got to try to do that. Little E36, trying to drive like you, man. Shit.
That's why I kind of got into it for a certain style of driving, and I've always just tried to drive that way.
Well,
so
that's I say it a lot. I mean, I'm wearing his shirt. I'm kind of riding right now.
Oh, you
but,
are a little bit. Huh?
But the Denofa shirt, dude.
Hey, well, that's the homie too, man.
Having that same, dude.
Another fun fact. Me and Denofa both got our licenses at the same Pro-Am Nationals in 2009 at Irwindale, where he finished in third and I was second.
Dang, dude, absolutely calling
So it
him
ain't the
out right
placements, but it's just a matter of that's a homie too. We both
at the
kind
same
of
time,
came in
dude.
at the same point.
Nova's the dog, but I love watching him drive same way I love watching you drive, man. Always going for the top spot on the podium, never content with a second or a third place, never satisfied with sitting back in your in your seats there and just kind of riding out the competition. If you're going to go out, you're going out blades of glory, spinning the car out, pushing it as hard as you can.
Well, I actually lost my power steering belt when I spun against Kevin Tyler. Kicked it.
Mechanical issues through and through, but we have cars finally pulling up to the line. We're so excited. If you've been staying with us for this Formula Drift Pro-Am competition, we really do appreciate you guys being out here. We are ready for a battle. This is going to be the one more time Stephen Calloway in his blue S14 leading Cameron Sorensen in that BMW 212 sponsored machine.
Yep,
Here we go, off the line, and
gonna be
we're
a good
ready to
one.
go. Mike, call this out. Call this out.
All right, Callaway's going to come in. I really want him to stay out wide and hit that zone. He's looking pretty smooth, staying out decently wide. Sorensen's keeping there with him. As they come under the trailer, let's see where it comes out. Looks like a nice smooth transition, a little short on the zone. Sorensen. There, he's definitely in the outer three. He's moving now. Sorensen's staying with him, though. Let's see if he can keep it on the track. Yep, he does. So after that, I think if Steven can just stay with Sorensen, because he's fast, if Steven can keep up, I think... Wait. Who's in the grass? I can't see anything.
You can look right down here at this monitor.
Oh, there is one.
Yeah. So on that one, I did see as we watch this replay here, it looks like Callaway's in the right spot coming under the tunnel. Didn't see him super wide in zone 2
little
or
correction
zone
from
3
Sorensen.
there. Yeah, correction from Sorensen in the back. Correction and cutting the line quite a bit from Sorensen, but also, Callaway wasn't all the way out in that outer zone 3. Let's see how it is through the touch and go here. Definitely had room on the track left in the lead position.
Looks like what happened there, right?
Lead
is okay. So he kind of went off. I think it's kind of where course exit is.
That's after the finish.
Yeah,
so
that's not going to be
judged.
judged negatively.
We're excited to see him run it again for sure. This is going to be a battle of the ages here for Colorado drifting. We can see if Stephen Callaway, been dormant for a long time, like you were saying, doesn't really have any crazy positions.
He's got a chance here, though.
But here we go. He's getting ready to launch himself into the finals. We'll see how this run goes. Can Cameron Sorensen keep up with the pressure? Obviously, he's got his brother in his ear telling him, you need to be perfect right here. You better hit all of these zones. Make sure you don't leave it into the judges' hands. And here we go. They are off the line. Cameron Sorensen puts the gap on him in the first corner as they come through.
Yep,
Stephen
he's
Callaway
blazing
following
again.
behind. Can he make up the distance here? Cameron Sorensen coming through on a good line. Stephen Callaway cutting the line quite a bit to get through as we come through to outer zone 2. Sorensen off the outer zone 2 as well. We have Stephen Callaway transitioning behind him. Sorensen comes in, a little bit off outer zone 3 as we have Callaway falling behind by about a car consistently throughout the track. Let's see if he can clean it up through here, potentially get a little bit closer, and he does. But again, as soon as that BMW comes on power, putting a gap on him as well. Going to be interesting to see because I didn't like Zone 2 or Zone 3 from either of these drivers.
Right.
But, the conditions out there are getting harder and harder to drive in.
To be fair, it is just hard to keep up with those tires if you don't have them. I have been confirmed he is on 1-2-3s.
Oh,
so he is moving. But he's still doing a really good job of keeping it in the zone. So he must have a little bit of data for that car on them. And yeah, it's, it wasn't the prettiest from either of them, but I think it's just going to come down to maybe the gap and the inability to close it and just the overall speed through the whole course.
Yeah, seeing that, obviously, that speed angle line that we like to see. That speed angle line that we like to see here. Obviously, Cameron Sorensen had it in spades there, but was he in the right spot? I see Brandon taking a look at me like, dog, he was in the right spot. He was more in the right spot. How are you going to tell my little brother that he wasn't in the right spot? I want to pass this over to you. Do you agree he was in all those zones? Is that on?
I'm going to be honest. I had my headset on the entire time, and I was just looking at you funny because you look kind of funny right now. But he did an exceptional job. He did listen to me very well. I liked his entry, and he was able to catch up very nicely in the outside zone 1. Transitions were pretty decent. I don't know. I'm used to watching pro, so right now, obviously you got to remember Cameron's only he just turned 13 years old, so age is definitely only but a number. He's absolutely ripping out here. There's definitely things both drivers could have done in order to improve that, but I mean, in my eyes, it's exceptional. Back to you, buddy.
All right. Sweet, thanks, man. I mean, you gotta give support to your brother there. I'm definitely gonna. I see all the judges crouching around the screen right now. Looking at me. Looking.
Oh yeah,
over here.
Hey, what do we got here, boys? We got to figure this out.
We're all look at them out there. They're hovering around the radio right now.
That's what I'm hearing. A lot of dirt.
Outer zone clip. Proximity.
But it's really just showing how close the mistakes and the balancing of them is coming out because these judges are. It's not an easy job. You got to look at a lot. You got to break down a lot.
We have Cameron Sorensen with the win. They are, after some deliberation from the judges, they have just let us know Cameron Sorensen going to the finals. That means he is going to be up against Kevin in that 350Z. Obviously, Sorensen has to win twice to force the finals to sway in his direction. This is going to be an amazing last battle as we count down to the final battle of this competition.
That's my favorite shit now. Is like I'm 30 goddamn years old, which just means something now. Not even about 20s. People think I'm like maybe 21, 22 years old. So they think I'm still left behind years. So I've heard everything they already have to say. But they hate it. So now they just choose to have straight out problems with me instead. No longer talk down to me effectively. Seems like me. So now you're an asshole, which justifies me trying to fight you. Alright, I guess. I mean, you can get that. I'm still not.
Here we go. We are just waiting on a tire swap from the Sorensen team, and then we are going to get our final battle underway here. We are so excited to have the winner of this competition decided. Here we go, waiting for these two drivers to pull up to the line. We are all in anticipation of these guys coming up there.
That's one reason why I don't go to that one event. So, I'm at the point where I don't care what they say. If you drop something smart, I'm gonna say something smart. They essentially try to choose a moto it didn't happen. And I'm like, it should have happened. I don't care. Feelings don't matter to me very much to begin with, which is a problem. But yours should matter at least. I'd like to say otherwise. Like, I really do want my family. I've tried. I just laugh at it and tell them no matter what.
We are waiting for Cameron Sorensen to get a fresh set of tires on his car for these battles. Kevin pulling up to the line now, getting ready to go. So stay with us as we get ready for, oh, that looks like Cameron Sorensen out of his pit spot as well. We are ready to send him for this final battle. Now, again, I will not be announcing a winner of this competition here on the mic until we get ready for our ceremony. I am only going to be announcing the if we have one more battle or if we do not. Here we go. We are at the line. I'm awaiting any minute now a call to say we are clear to send. We are ready to go for this final battle, or the first final battle of Drift Colorado Pro-Am. Here we go, off the line. Kevin is absolutely racing down there, but Cameron right there with him as they come through this first outer zone, ready to go under the trailer here. Both of them coming through that trailer clean as we go into outer zone 2. Kevin on a perfect line in outer zone 2. Here we go, rips his bumper off on outer zone. He might have hit a wall even through outer zone 3, coming into this touch and go here. Both drivers doing an amazing, oh my God, everyone in the booth is going crazy right now. Kevin was on an absolute ripper, and now he has spun out in the lead.
What happened there, my man, is my man got into what we call hammerfoot zone, when everything is just going so well that you just stay in it because you got it. And then suddenly you're like, wait a minute, I think I should have not have been here. And then I don't have it no more. But that was sick. Kevin was on rails. He just stayed in it too long to try. He kind of just, I feel, got so into his moment of like, it was a great run up until that point.
Hey, but you know what? It is not over. We can still have another battle here as they come back around the judges' tower. Everyone here stoked, giving them a round of applause. We are going to see Cameron Sorensen lead in this next battle here, and we are going to see both of them go once more if Cameron does get the win in this battle here, so we can have the final of our Formula Drift Pro-Am Round 2 Drift Colorado Championship.
And, I'm sorry for my excitement, but to be fair, Sorensen laid a great chase lap. He didn't go anywhere. He was right there. It's just sometimes you get fixated on a good lead, but you forget that there is somebody following him, and he's doing the right thing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sorensen was not shaken. You said Kevin's on rails. Cameron is right behind him. Here we go. Starting us off here. Cameron in the lead. Kevin giving chase. Both of them flicking into the initiation zone here. Coming through outer zone 1. Both of them looking smooth through there, but a big gap, it seems, has appeared. Something happened to Kevin back there. Cameron Sorensen absolutely smoking out the house right now. Cameron is on a tear. Cameron is ready for this to be his event as he comes through outer zone 3 over to outer zone 4. Is he going to have a dirt drop or a bit of a moment? Comes through the finish line clean. Unfortunately, it seems like Kevin could not put it together on that run, but somehow catches back up to him by the end of the lap after that huge mistake in outer zone 1, and very hard for us to see here, but it appears that something may have happened. I'm not sure if it is mechanical or if it was just a I don't know if it was mechanical, don't know if it was driver error, but hearing from the judges here, we are going to have to send them to battle again for the final. Sorensen gets the win out of the losers bracket, so now it is winner takes all in this last battle. We got Mike over here talking it up with our judges here, all excited, all super stoked. We have Bob Chestnut over at the start line as well, getting it all ready for us. This is the final of Formula Drift Pro-Am for Drift Colorado. This is going to be the final. Once these guys get their tires swapped, hang with us for just another 5 minutes, and we will let you know who is going to be the champion. We've got Cameron Sorensen, who was on the podium at the first Pro-Am that we had here at PPIR, and now we have a new contender here with Kevin, making sure that he is making sure that he is putting himself into the winner's circle here. It's going to be a crazy final battle. If you have stayed with us through this entire thing, listening to my rambling, listening to all the awesome guests we've had up here talking, I appreciate you guys so much. We have a bunch of awesome sponsors to thank one more time before we get finished here. After Hours Auto House for getting us all cooked up with Formula Drift, Drift Colorado and Levi Waite 3 Series Auto Parts for making sure that we have the facilities to be able to work with. Speaking of facilities, PPIR, this awesome state-of-the-art racetrack, NASCAR Roval down here in Fountain, Colorado, always a place that you should check out if you're free on a weekend. We've also got Big Nick's Auto, making it happen and making sure that we have everything ready to go for this competition. And we also have Springs Tire and Auto keeping the rubber on all these race cars, especially some of the Group B and Group A cars, which is awesome to see. We have got 10 minutes being called to make sure they have 10 minutes to get their cars ready. So grab another bev, grab something to eat, throw a Pop-Tart in the microwave or the toaster, whatever you guys do. Get back with us here so we can watch the final battle of Drift Colorado Pro-Am Round 2. We'll be right with you guys in a couple minutes. Here we go. We've got Cameron Sorensen on the line. Kevin warming up his tires on the NASCAR 3-4 bank here at PPIR. We are getting ready to send our final battle. This one is for all the marbles. This one is for all the bragging rights. Who will be the winner of our second Pro-Am Championship round? It could be anybody's game here. Winner of this one takes it all, takes all the points, takes all the glory. We've got Cameron Sorensen and we've got Kevin Tyler in that 350Z. Sorensen in that BMW, matching his siblings. Here we go. We are on the line, making sure both drivers are ready as they can be. Here goes Zambu, one of our awesome employees and volunteers here, getting ready to send them. Oh, and it looks like they're pushing them back just a little bit. They may have had an issue where the lead and the chase were mixed up there. And obviously, like we've talked about earlier on this stream, Cameron Sorensen's driving only in second gear. His transmission is locked in second. He has no reverse, as you guys can see. It is hard for him to start, and so we've got some Drift Colorado homies helping him get to the line and get in position Kevin getting out of the way so we can make this happen. And now Kevin's going to pull up to the line. It looks, based on the position, like Kevin is going to be leading this one. Cameron Sorensen will be giving chase. Here we go. Both drivers on the line, ready to be flagged. It is time to go. Here we go. Kevin Tyler, Cameron Sorensen speeding off to the first entry. Kevin on rails on this first outside zone. He is moving so quick through here, but Cameron Sorensen will not be shaken. He is still right back there coming into outer zone 2. They are both on rails. Oh, big dirt drop from Kevin Tyler. Here we go. Cameron Sorensen right behind him. Big bobble in the third outside zone from Kevin in that 350Z, but they both come through clean, somehow make it through the rest of the course. Here we go, outer clip at that touch and go, and the last touch and go here before we come back through to the finish. Oh my God, what an exciting lap from both drivers. I cannot believe that Cameron Sorensen did not get left in this first zone with how fast Kevin was moving through there. And we have Kevin in this outside zone too, getting closed in on, must make the move right here. Comes through the zone without too much issue, but after the zone, a huge roost of dirt in our grass here at PPIR, and a little bit of a bobble / straighten in the lead as well. I'd have to say that Cameron may have an advantage here. I was loving the positioning that he had on the track. He was making sure that he was everywhere he needed to be and mimicking the line and angle of Kevin really well, especially right here on this clip that you're seeing right now. He is absolutely on them, and they are moving under our semi-trailer barrier. We are back to the start line. Cameron Sorensen in that BMW 212 performance with that Jasper Keys 350Z. Kevin Tyler giving chase. This is going to be your 1 and 2, but who will be which? Off the start line, Cameron Sorensen in that second gear, locked out transmission. Here we go to the entry here. Both of them coming in. Kevin's got a bit of a gap. Cameron Sorensen really putting the sauce on, but Kevin able to make up a little bit of ground. Here we go into outer zone 2. Cameron is moving with so much speed. Huge dirt drop out of Cameron Sorensen. He comes into outer zone 2. He is off on outer zone 2, unfortunately, but they both make it through cleanly. Here we go, coming through the touch and go at the later part of this track, and both of them somehow keep it together to finish the lap. Oh my goodness, we have a huge deliberation coming up from the judges, and I would hate to be one of those three right now. Mike, when you're coming through with so much speed in the first corner, how crazy is it trying to slow down for that outer zone 2?
You know, it's an interesting line because you have to almost ride up on a K-rail and shoot the car at the zone, and you're really relying on grip at that point to pull you out. So it's a commitment that you have to time perfectly to get to the perfect part of the zone. And with this, visibility in the day and the tire changing at the temperatures, the setups always are changing. So I think it was just a slight miscalculation of that transition, and he kind of puts himself in the same boat Kevin put himself in when he was leading. So that's why I think the judges are really biting now, because they're like, we kind of had it figured out, and now we got to do our little deliberation.
Yeah, absolutely a hard time to be the judges right now, but both of them with very, very similar mistakes in outer zone 2. I'd say from my point of view here, it seems as though Cameron's was a little bit heavier of a mistake, a little bit further off track. However, you got to remember that 350Z of Kevin also went off track or went offline a little bit and straightened out in outer zone 3. You can't forget that outer zone 3 bobble as well in the lead. Plus, if we're going strictly chase for chase, I'm going Cameron in the chase. But luckily, I'm not a judge, so I do not have to deliberate on this like they are doing right now. They are doing their absolute best to make sure that they can get everything sorted out for us here. But let's go back to some more replays for the judges. Here you go. This is going to be Kevin Tyler. This is the first run of this battle. And oh my God, I love that angle of Cameron Sorensen coming up, sucking up to the door. Here we go. We see that dirt drop right at kind of after the zone there from Kevin in that 350Z. And then you see that bobble in outer zone 3. That angle, right in front of the judges. That's something that they saw with their naked eye, and now they're seeing again and again in the replay. 2 mistakes out of Kevin in that lead, but is that enough to trump potentially the mistake that we saw from Brandon Sorensen? You can see that it looked like to me Kevin did not go off nearly as hard as Cameron did, but also he's having mistakes in the chase, mistakes in the lead. You know, that's all up to the judges to deliberate right now. The judges looking at every single zone from start to finish of this course to make sure that they get the accurate description. Me and Mike with the easy job here of just calling it how we see it, but we are not the judges here, so we don't have to make the hard decisions that they are making right over there to our left. It is, man, it's a tough time to be a judge, as it always is, especially with the pressure of Pro-Am competition. And here we go. We're seeing Kevin in the lead one more time, seeing that 2-3 that we saw. Man, this is a tough one. The judges do have a decision. This could go either way. Make sure you keep tuning in with us. If you guys are here in person, make your way to the winner's circle so we can announce a winner here. I'm going to grab the wireless mic and head on down. Check, check, check. Check, check. Here we go, guys. We're heading down to the winner's circle to announce who is going to be the winner in just a sec. Alrighty, guys. We have... Yeah, I think so. That's it? Yeah. Guys, we are getting ready. The winner here. We have our top 3 pulled up to the winner's circle. We've got our crowd all around us here. We're making sure we get the mic ready so we can go do an interview with all of these people who are out here. It's going to be so exciting to figure out exactly who won this. That battle could have gone either way. Just making sure the ball's right, and we'll head down there. Let's get ready to announce the winner here. Let's get ready to announce the winner here. How are we doing?
No, I did. Yes. Oh, that's what we're playing. We're playing 25 years in. We're not.
You had the best line out of 3 day out of everybody.
Practice
Check. Cool. Alrighty, guys, I'm running down here with the results right now, but first I want to talk to, yeah, I know, dude.
Oh,
I be knowing. I got to hop over here real quick. Oh, geez, bud, hold on, excuse me, sir. Man, the anticipation is crazy in here. First, I want Stephen Calloway. Where's he at right now? Dude, all the judges and everybody were talking after you had gone out, how amazing it is to see you in a car that's made it this deep into a competition, knowing that you haven't done a ton of competition in this vehicle and finally seems like you have it figured out. How challenging was it to battle through to the box today?
Minus the heat, everything else was a blast. Car's feeling great. Bartow and his team fucking really helped out, get it dialed in last minute. The new angle kit and everything was feeling fucking awesome. Everybody out was driving savage. It was a great time for sure.
Awesome. I'm going to head over here, ask you guys a few questions, and then we'll announce it here. So, Cameron, how was it battling through? I know you had some troubles early on today. Both with just not feeling stoked and having potentially some issues with what you ate last night or something like that. But it seems like you've battled through that. You're obviously here on the box with us. How has this been for you now that the light is changing and the conditions are changing? How did you battle through that?
It's been great. The car's been running decent. Yeah, I had to run second gear the whole time. Something was wrong with my clutch, so I couldn't come to a stop at all, or barely pull the handbrake. But other than that, we battled through all that and made it up here on the box. And let's see who won.
Yeah, awesome, man. I gotta go get over to Kevin real quick before I do announce the winner here. But that was awesome. We heard from your brother up on the box with us that you were only running in second gear. He said one less thing to worry about. So he just said, hey, he's gonna keep pushing through it. Now he knows he's got to be in second gear and running it through. We get Kevin over here real quick, man. How was it battling through, in the winner's bracket the entire time? How was that for you? How was Pro-Am competition compared to the last time you ran this car?
Last time I ran it, we had some problems, and this time we had literally zero problems. So the car's a machine. I just knew what I needed to do, and I just did it.
Awesome, man. That's great to hear. Anybody you want to thank who helped you get out here today?
Literally everybody who's here, my whole team. I wouldn't be here without them. Zeknova Tires, Jasper Keys, number 1, Fuel Labs. They redid the whole car after round 1, and it's been top-notch ever since.
Good shout out, Fuel Labs. Are you guys ready to hear some results? Let's do it. Levi, you want to do the honors? Oh, you're just presenting the awards. In third place, over here in the third place award, we've got Stephen Calloway in his blue S14. And in first place, someone I haven't seen on the top spot of the box before, did an amazing job all day battling through the heat, battling through the changing conditions, the low visibility. We have Cameron Sorensen, first place! That means we got Kevin out here in second place as well in his 350Z, absolutely putting it down. Man, thing was on rails in that first finals battle. On rails. Let's get a big shout out to everyone who's out here, everyone with their team right now, all of the people at Drift Colorado and PPR making this event happen, going till late in the night. Shout out After Hours Auto Sport, shout out 3 Series Parts, Springs Tire and Auto, Biggs Nick's Auto, everybody who is out here making this event possible, and Levi, the Drift Doctor himself, who unfortunately got taken out. This is going to shake up the points quite a bit, but what else you got to say for us?
No, it was awesome to have everybody come out. It was so hot. I'm so glad that this many people are still here and all the cars are basically still running. This was a testament to putting your car together, because to battle through this heat and especially this back-to-back-to-back, the tire conditions changed all day. So watching all the drivers run was amazing. So thanks to everybody that came out, and let's have a banger on the third round.
Absolutely. The third round's going to be super interesting. Cameron, you got something else to say for us?
I'd like to thank everyone that's here, all the drivers, the After Hours Autosports team, Colorado Drift for putting this event on, and my whole team for keeping this car running. Great, and then OMP for my suit, shoes, and Gloves.
All the stuff. I see you got Air Force and 212 Motorsports on the car as well. Comp cams on the side of the car here. Obviously, your family has been doing amazing things in drifting, and they're getting you into it at such a young age. It's awesome to see, dude. We're going to see you crush it. Hopefully, we can see everyone who's on this box here in the third round so we can shake up this series once again.
Thank you. Right now, I'm going for the youngest Formula Drift driver ever. Not pro spec, but still, it's going to be a record, and let's hope to beat it.
Still a heck of an accomplishment. Let's get ready to drive some open drift tonight. We're driving until midnight, so get your cars ready. If you guys are driving in the open drift, get everything ready. Get some tires on your cars. Get some water in you. I know you animals been drinking all day, but let's make sure we keep it safe out on track. Remember that you guys are representing PPR and Colorado Drift right now, so make sure you go out there, have a great time, and let's go shred some tires. You guys ready to do some burnouts, some victory celebration burnouts? Let's do it.